Hi guys, how's it going?
Good
Good.
to
How are
see you.
you?
I'm good. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah,
Mm.
good to see you again, dude.
Uh, I've been doing interviews with the cast like all three seasons, so it's wild. It's like been a
Yeah,
journey. So,
yeah. No, definitely.
yeah. And it's sad it's ending, but congrats again, and thanks for taking the time out to talk to me.
Of
Oh, dude,
course.
thank you
Yeah.
for having us again.
Uh, I guess just first question, just to start things off for the both of you. How are you feeling in this exact moment now that the 13th is about to premiere soon, and it's the last like bittersweet moment, the end?
Mm.
Dude, it's crazy, man. Like it's just crazy to think that like this is uh this is really happening. You know what I mean? Like I
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah.
I'd say yeah, bittersweet is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I feel grateful, very grateful that we
Yeah.
got to tell this story and that we got to give it a good ending too. I feel like it's a good full circle.
Yeah.
Mhm. Love that. And fans will appreciate the full circle.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Uh, so I guess just getting in the nitty gritty of things. Michael, there's a notable absence of Simon this season, and Victor doesn't really need to rely on him as much as he used to in the past seasons. Did you miss that dynamic though, of like not having a mentor? And what was it like getting to experience Victor's growth and journey throughout these past three seasons, both with Simon and without Simon?
I think like it's kind of nice that Victor doesn't have Simon around this season because especially because of what happens and takes place in the beginning of the season, it's a lot of Victor finding himself, which I think is like a beautiful thing because it's like he kind of learned the lessons that he needed to, and now he's like released into the world on his own and kind of learning how to navigate things with his own accord and kind of approaches them with like for lack of better terms, like with his whole chest. You know, he's really doing the
Mm,
things, and even if he makes a decision and it's the wrong one, he still commits to it, and then
mm,
is willing to say I messed up, like with the situation with Raheem and whatever else. And I think that that's better than just like kind of making half decisions or making decisions that people tell you that you should make. And I think that Victor, because he had other people to rely on, that kind of gave him a good base to navigate the world.
love it. Love the growth. All the
Yeah.
things. George, kind of a similar question for you. Benji has had some high highs, but also as season three points out, he needs to work on a lot of things, and he has some low lows too, actually.
Mhm.
So, what has it been like? Experience that journey, playing Benji and getting going along the ride with him.
Yeah, it really has been quite the journey because when we first meet Benji, he's quite confident, and he's very comfortable with his sexuality. And so yeah, with season three, it was like a lot of flashbacks to a time where he was struggling so much. Like the expectations he had from his parents were like really weighing on him. So it was interesting to dive into a time where he wasn't like when we first met him and it was interesting as an actor. That was like a fun challenge, to yeah, yeah,
And we're not going to give away too much, but Benji, like I said, he's really going through a lot of things. He's
mm,
working on himself with like rehabs and stuff.
yeah,
So, did you like getting a showcase that more vulnerable side to him, especially since in real life, a lot of people, especially in the community, deal with these same issues and these
Yeah.
same troubles. And so, did you? What was that like?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I didn't take it lightly. Like it's a huge part of his character development, and I think you said a good word there, like vulnerability. I think this season three is about him learning sort of how to be vulnerable with himself and be vulnerable in his relationship to Victor. Because ultimately, when he can fully do that and like open his heart in that way, then without giving too much away, it's like leads to a good thing. So yeah, that was a big part of it. I think it's very crucial to his healing. Mm.
And it's nice to see like sometimes other shows and movies like the romantic interest is always like too perfect, but I like that
Yeah,
he was
I liked
real.
that too. I liked that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was really it
I think
was
it was a smart choice by the writers to just kind of like make because
Mhm.
no one's perfect, and I think like it accentuates that. Even Victor's not perfect, and I think that that's like it's nice to see like a realistic portrayal of like what kind of
Mhm.
happens in the life of a teenager.
Mhm. Speaking of Victor's imperfections, I love Victor. He's so fun and cute and like a joy to watch, but he's really messy. And like they even mentioned in the season, he's agent of chaos. So did you
Yeah.
like getting just be this messy, horny, chaotic, like teen for once and just getting to showcase all of like this.
I mean, I feel like that's also like kind of part of like navigating who you are, especially like Victor never really had that moment to kind of explore new options and go out and do new things, right? And so I think that makes the ending so much more impactful, because it's like, you know, he makes a decisive decision at the end from experience, not one from naivety. You know what I mean? It's like I now that I have all this experience and I've tried new things and whatever else, I now can make this decision to choose whoever he chooses. Yeah.
Speaking of decisions, early in the season, Victor and Raheem's flirtationship to friendship pipeline really evolved this season. And it's something I feel like a lot of gay men can relate to, you know, like having a crush on your friend, but then it doesn't work out. So it becomes like friendships. So what was that dynamic like? And did you like that the show included it? Because I always like healthy depictions of gay male friendship. So did you like that?
Yeah, I think that was like great. And I think it's like really honest. You know, I feel like sometimes like, you know, sometimes, yeah, you do wind up having a little crush on your friend or whatever, and then things don't work out. So it's like, I still want to be your friend though. And it doesn't mean that you can't be friends with someone that you used to have history with, which I think is like a super important message to send across. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And obviously Victor and Benji and Raheem like the center of this series, but also like that this season we get to expand more, and there's like queer women, the queer girlies get this representation as well with like Lake and Lucy. But did you like? That's why I love. It's another thing I love that's like at the heart of this show. It's so inclusive. It's so wide ranging. You have so many different identities. So can you guys talk a little bit about that and getting to be a part of this project that's room for everyone?
Yeah, I think that's like an amazing thing about like the Love Simon / Love Victor universe, is that there is so many different LGBTQ stories that can still be told. Like, you know, there's still, I think they should keep pushing that, like you said, like going in different directions. So yeah, it's and I'm just really proud to be a part of that, and especially like knowing the impact it's having. So
yeah, I agree. I think that like there's so much more queer media that needs to be made, and I think that like again it shows big corporations that there is a market for this. And then I mean, even though yes, it might be like, oh yeah, there's a market for this, and corporations will make things because it's like, oh, there's a market for this, but it shows more representation and will change people's minds because there's a market for it. And I think like it's cool to just have queer characters in regular media as well, like that just like isn't like necessarily a queer story, but it's just the character is queer, like that's like so important. And I think that's the way that you start opening people's minds up to like the possibility of like, oh well, what's wrong with being queer? It challenges people's narrative that they have about being queer in their heads. So yeah,
queer people in everyday life, who would have thought?
Yeah, I know, literally. Like yeah.
So I guess let's fast forward into the future a few years. Where do you picture Victor and Benji are at in their lives? What do you think they're doing? What kind of mess do you think they're getting into, etc.?
You know, listen, maybe they have a few kids running around. Who knows? Yeah, I honestly don't know. Like, we've briefly chatted about it. Like, you know, I think there is like a future where, you know, everyone kind of like is happy and grown up, and we maybe revisit this at some point. But I don't know. I really don't know what's next for Victor, to be honest.
I feel like individually, I can see them have a path. I hope they stay together. You know, I hope so. But who knows? You know, like Victor is going to go out to college and whatever, and Benji might join a band, and like who knows? You know.
Oh, I could see them going ups and downs, and even more so in color. So I would still love to see it. So
yeah,
maybe in the future, let's pitch a spin off to Hulu or something.
Yeah.
And just to wrap things up, obviously the impact Love Victor and Love Simon is going to be felt for generations to come. How cool is it to be part of something and do something that impacted so many LGBTQ viewers and that they're going to cherish for generations?
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, like it's amazing. Like being able to, like, as an actor, it's you know it's hard to book a job, and then when you do book one that has this kind of impact, it's really meaningful to see people like connect to the work like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, like, you know, we're gonna kind of see what happens next, I guess, you know.
And I do think that the show just, it speaks to so many people. Like I watch it with my family, like, you know, like there's so many themes within it, and it's so hopefully that keeps the legacy of it sort of alive. Yeah,
There's more for the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the wraps to do, but again, thank you guys so much. It's always been a pleasure talking to you guys, and I'm sad that the show's ending.
I know. Well, it's been cool to chat to you at every
I know, it's been cool to chat to you. So